think amazing experience sharing, and I think I'm also reflecting on the fact that how initial priorities of an organization in terms of automation, IT infrastructure, basic communication, and operational support are now fading into the background as priorities, and new era is emerging. So with that thought, I will go to Anil Joseph, and request that how in your industry, which is more into global scenario, and in fact all of you are from global platform, but I think you are dealing absolutely 24 by 7. So Anil, please share your thoughts.
Sure. Hi, Runa. I hope I'm audible. Good evening, friends. At the outset, I hope everybody and their families are safe and in good health at this time. And I hope everybody is using one of these masks and sanitizers whenever you're stepping out of home, because that's the most important thing right now. So, when we talk about the COVID situation and how everybody is coping, there's no hiding the fact that the current times have been quite stressful for many of us. The situation has really transformed the way we live to a great extent. And we all know that adaptability is the greatest asset in a human being, and we've adapted quite well in these times. So how does an organization cope with the current challenge will determine if they are going to be successful in times to come. And employees and all of us, if we are able to sustain and cope with that pressure, let me put it pressure in the positive way, we will be successful and we will emerge winners in our careers going forward. Most of the industries, as all of us are aware, they've been badly affected, but there are some industries who've taken the opportunity to step up and come to a new normal. Now, I belong to an industry which is IT and IT services. We've taken this opportunity to gather further momentum to serve our customers. And many of us are looking at how we can make our employees productive at all times, and 100% of our employees productive at all times. Sorry, there was an interruption. Runa, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you now, but in between there was, the sound went blank. So I was wondering whether I heard it right.
Okay. I don't know where you lost me. I was saying that we have established work at home for most of our employees, and this I'm sure is the case with most of the BPM and IT companies as well. And that is the new normal.
I'm really tempted to go back to Anil after listening to you and learning from your experience. And if Anil missed out any particular point which you wanted to share before I start our question answer, and in fact I have few questions, but I can see loads of questions coming from the audience. So I will keep touching upon those questions, and also some of the questions we have received before our today's sessions. So Anil, are you wanting to share a couple of points from your end?
So Runa, I'm not sure what happened with my connection. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear. Please
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was talking about the challenges that we as an industry, the BPM industry, faced while we were tackling the COVID situation in the last couple of months. But then I have to admit that the resilience and the determination of all of our employees and the collective leadership of everybody that we have within our organizations helped us in managing the situation. And we are able to get at least 70 to 80% of our employees to be productive working from home. Now, I'm sure you understand that our industry is such that you cannot have a lot of our frontline employees working from home because of data security issues. And that's the fundamental aspect why we have to operate in SEZs, special economic zones, and in secure environments. But then during the last 2 months, we've realized that clients have been immensely supportive because it involved health and safety of our employees, and they agreed to help run our processes in a remote environment. And that really gave us room for experimenting what otherwise would have never been possible. My co-panelists talked about how human resources and delivery leaders have stepped up their game in the last 2 months to engage and to drive productivity on all fronts. And this is no different for our organization as well. We've maintain status quo in terms of engagement, in terms of monitoring of how productivity has to be, as expected as earlier, and continued with rewards and recognition, connect with leaders, town halls, and all of those aspects. We haven't stopped, and that's what I wanted to share just as a context, Runa.
So Anil, I have a question for you, and this is by Shankha Chaudhary. Digitally, how to create an employee appreciation and reward and motivation, especially for blue collar people working in ground level. I think even if many of us are not dealing with blue collar, but we have in our past experience dealt with them. So let's reflect upon that. And Anil, would you like to respond on that?
Sure, Runa. I'm sorry for my internet connectivity issues. So whether blue collar or white collar, it really doesn't matter. Reward and recognition is a philosophy that you've got to find opportunities for people doing the right thing and reward them. And this is what most progressive organizations are following today. It doesn't really matter if we are looking at a reward strategy for factory workers as compared to somebody who's working in an office environment. So the essence is find as many opportunities for people to feel recognized and use the tools that are available in the organization. So I can take my organization, for example. Unfortunately, we do not have anybody working in factories, so we are only talking about people working in offices. But doing anything on email is not really sustainable, and it's not really effective, as all of you understand. So after emails are sent, we've got to follow it up with multiple channels of communication and ensure that there is a hype built around the rewards and recognition. Now, coming specifically to how we can engage blue collar workers, people who are on the ground, look at units of work and see what the productivity and quality outputs are, and look at how we can streamline those aspects of performance and narrow it down to a reward strategy. And this can be done very well at regular intervals, so that people don't think that this is a one-off activity and it is a part of the organization's philosophy for R&R.
So what digital skills would HR team members require post-pandemic as an outcome of learning from COVID-19 experience of an organization? So it is for HR to acquire skills. So Anil, over to you.
Sure. So Runa, I think HR has got the best in our lifetime opportunity to embrace technology and digital and utilize simple automation, mobile analytics, and if possible, if the organization is into RPA, meaning robotics process automation, and to look at what processes can be optimized and can be made better for our employees. The concept has got to be make it faster, simpler, and better, right? And that's what people should be looking at. Now, I was reading something on LinkedIn, and I realized that 18%, that's what the LinkedIn survey says, that only 18% of human resource professionals currently have the technology or analytic skills to get to the 21st century. Now, it's no secret, right, that data and digitization and analytics are becoming very, very crucial for HR. So what we've got to do is first understand what digital means. Now, digital is the ability to look at process, and any process for that matter, and see how with the use of simple automation technology, make it better, faster, and simpler for our internal customers, which is our employees. And if we are able to do that with the available resources that are, that are there in the organization, then you've got a step closer to becoming and adopting digital. That's number one. Second, there are three aspects for HR. One is the customer experience of HR, and this I read somewhere. I'm sure most of you have read this as well. How does HR be perceived as offering a better experience for our customers, and our customers are internal stakeholders. The second one is how do we narrow the skill gap?
Right, Anil. So I think we lost a last part, and we'll again come back to you.